My name is Oscar.
My name is Carl, and this is Who Would Watch This?
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Home Alone 2, which currently has a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.9 on IMDb, and a 3.5 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
Kevin is separated from his family again when he accidentally boards a flight to New York City during a Christmas trip to Miami. However, he crosses paths with the same burglars who now plan to rob toy stores on Christmas Eve.
Oof. It's Christmas.
Yes.
And so Christmas movies galore.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got, We're doing Home Alone 2. We've got
Polar Express next week or
Polar
something
Express
like that.
next week, which we're obviously so eager to rewatch.
Oh, yeah. You said say it with more vigor the next time. You can't because that's how excited you are. That's how excited you are. Carl, before we jump into Home Alone 2, do we go back to last week?
Yes.
When we hadn't seen the film. And then try and figure out who we think would watch us?
Yes.
Yes. Carl, it's the Christmas spirit. Merry, Merry Christmas, huh?
Merry, Merry Christmas. What are you getting for Christmas this year?
I'm getting this nasty little bike, okay? It's gonna be pretty fucking nasty.
Little tassels?
Yeah, it's got tassels, got
Oh
flames.
my
and shit.
god, nice.
Johnny down the block's me so fucking jealous.
Some little training wheels on the back?
No, I upgraded, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thanks,
Look
man.
at you.
Thanks, man. What are you getting, huh?
Well, the parents are getting a divorce, so I'm going to be getting 2 Christmases.
Oh, hells yeah. 2 bikes.
Yeah, that's right, 2 bikes.
Carl, we're doing Home Alone 2. The only reason we're doing this is because we want a little Christmas cheer. This apparently has a dreadful critical review.
It has a 35% on Tomatoes, which I didn't realize it had such a horrible out the gate reviews.
I consider the first Home Alone, it's a Christmas classic, and it deservedly is a Christmas classic. And I feel like the second one is just like, well, it's Home Alone 2. It's great. It's wonderful. I was surprised at how low the critical review is. And then the next couple are bad, but it's Christmas, and normally it's just them beating up
Well, they
people.
give up Christmas in the third one.
Whoa, really?
Remember we tried to watch it as a part of our Christmas marathons, and we were like, it's post-Christmas.
It's post-Christmas.
Yeah.
The sales are on. You're like, get out of here. That's not on.
Yeah. And then they go back for Christmas in the 4th, and then the holiday heist, and then we did Sweet Home Alone.
That was so cruel. I think if you're going to see that one, you'll see it on Disney Plus. That is the worst one, just because I remember the villains. I could give it a bit.
They're sympathetic.
They're sympathetic, and then they could probably get the most heavy beating. You know, it's Ellie from The Office, and they just do her so dirty.
They do.
It's cruel.
It's a lot of violence.
Yeah.
You hate the kid.
Yeah.
There's no charm.
It's very upsetting. But Carl, we're doing Home Alone 2. Have you seen this one before?
Absolutely. I've seen this many a time. In my head, this is my favorite of the 2.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I watched both of these back to back a few Christmases ago. And frankly hated Home Alone 2 just because I think that there's no way for them to be watched back to back. They really are the same film.
Yeah.
But Christmas in New York.
Yeah. What are they, yeah, sure, it's bad critically, but I'm not in the mood for a critical darling.
Yeah.
It's Christmas time.
That's
It's a
right.
Wednesday in the afternoon. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's boiling outside. I got 3 fans pointing at me. I'm drinking a lot of water. I need to be, what's it like in New York, huh? I
No.
need that.
Here's the thing. We have a Christmas as to what they have in Florida
Yes.
with their little Florida Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we're living the Florida dream, I guess.
That's what made
Out on the bayou.
Well, that's the Australian dream, a Florida dream, essentially. Oh, imagine being on a bayou.
But yeah, who do I think would watch this? I think this is a great family fare. I think it is a good time from memory I think the caveat is you have to be picking one or the other. You can't go, we're going to do the first
It's
Home
too
Alone
much.
and then the
It's too
second Home
much.
Alone.
It's too much.
If you're going to Home Alone this Christmas, you either pick one or two. You don't
Yeah.
pick both. So I think it definitely is Christmas classic, right? And I think it's good viewing.
Yeah.
And I think if you love New York, or if you want to love New York,
If you're on the fence about
it.
New York, you're kind of like, oh, am I a Boston or a New York kind of guy? You gotta check out Home Alone 2, and I think you'll have the answer there.
If you want Boston, you can watch The Town.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Christmas in it, but they dress up as nuns.
Yeah, that's kind of Christmassy. Normally they're around at Christmas.
Christianity's Christmassy.
That's
It's got the
huge.
Christ in it.
Yes, here's the thing. If you want a bit of religion, go to Boston. If you want a bit of holiday cheer, go to New York. That's their motto.
Yeah, put that on a bumper sticker. It already is. It's on their plates.
Carl,
Who do you think would watch
well,
this?
I get why the critics probably disliked it, because it is just Home Alone 1. And that might be a negative in 1992, but we're in the Lord's year 2024, and I just think it's a fun genre of just seeing people get the shit beaten out of them by children.
Well, when was the last time you watched either of these?
Ooh, I reckon 5 Christmases ago.
okay.
Yeah, I can't which one. They are very similar. I can't.
One's in New York, the other's in Chicago.
I gotta tell you, they're the same city to me. Miami, Florida, everything's the same to me, except Texas. That's got a bit of a barbecue in the background. That's all I know, though.
Just a little bit of BBQ.
Bit of BBQ in the background. Who would I think would watch this? I gotta tell you, if you're one of those people that's like lightning can strike twice,
Yeah,
this is it.
And I mean, I think this one made like $400 and something million back in 1998. So
I'm all meant stealing a child, but yes, money, box office wise, also it made a lot of money.
Oscar, Home Alone 2, This House is Alive.
Oh yes. Oh, what the McCallister's
Yeah.
house? The McCallister's house?
Yeah.
Yes, I love.
This is a home.
Oh, it's a what John Hughes home? A Boston home? No, a Boston home.
Chicago home.
Chicago home. Oh, people swinging from the rafters. Toys have been played with. We're back in the McCallister's home, Carl. We're vibing.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think Chris Columbus knows how to do Christmas.
Totally.
Like, I think the Christmas segments in Harry Potter are very memorable.
Yes.
Obviously, the first Home Alone's really good. This guy just...
There's been a Christmas cheer in the world.
Yeah.
Saying that though, I do think the Prisoner of Azkaban. I like that. That's got a bit more of like a Tim Burton edge to it. That evil.
They do Christmas in the third one?
They do a bit of Christmas. Remember, they're walking around the town in Harry Potter, and they got that lollipop,
yeah.
and Harry steals
Yeah.
the lollipop. And
Yeah.
then the lollipop dangles around down the street.
Yeah,
It's
they've
a great
got extra money for the third one when they're like, what if we built villages now for the sets?
scene. And then it made the least amount of money, but God, it's the best one.
He's also very good at just getting child performers, isn't he? Like, I
Yeah.
think he's good with kid actors.
Totally. Harry Potter, like that first one, it's just like, God, I gotta tell you, they were all unprofessional and monsters. And I really clawed something in before it. When you watch those ones, they are bad actors.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And that's fine, because they're 11. But you're lucky that they came out all right. But yeah, that film could have been dreadful.
I think because it's the British industry. I think the American
Oh, you
industry...
think the accent covers up the acting?
No, I think because they're all shot and produced over in Britain,
Hmm.
it seems like they weren't exposed to like American Hollywood because they were just constantly making all of those British movies there.
I was gonna say you've got such poor actors and then some of the highest Shakespearean trained actors that by average you're like, well, I think everyone's okay in this, and you're like, I don't know, what's it called? Some people are doing a lot more. Maggie Smith's delivering when she's dropping off that baby at the start. Oh my God! And then Harry opens his mouth. He's like, okay, well, wait until the fourth one to get good. Carl, but we're not in Harry Potter world. Okay?
We're not. We're in Chicago. I love this house.
Yeah.
This is a great house.
It's nice.
And it is funny that they are doing beat for beat the exact opening of the first one, which is like, they're all here for Christmas.
It's okay. I know it's a stupid complaint, but one, like the major thing that's issue with this is he should not have got stolen again. And I wanted to put a pin in that because now we have to figure out why he got stolen again. Because I don't think any parent worth their chops would let this happen twice. So I think they've got a ulterior motive.
Oh, yep. You reckon they're trying to ditch?
I think they're trying to ditch.
Yeah.
Okay? I think Kevin has been a bit of a fucking, I think...
He's a difficult kid.
I think he's a difficult child, but also if you've got a child that's like, survived all this peril... You kind of want... He'd be annoying. He'd be very annoying. I think for the whole rest of the year, be like, remember that time those burglars, try to break into the house? Like, yeah, Kevin, I know, but eat vegetables,
It would absolutely be as well, like, those parents would never be able to live it down. Their son would be like, you... Remember last year you left me at home alone?
Yeah.
You forgot that I existed?
Totally.
And I almost got killed by two criminals.
I reckon the siblings would also stage a bit of a mutiny. I think they'd be a bit like, hey, he's getting a lot of attention, and I just feel like the parents are overcompensating, and we're being left in the dirt.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of this kid.
I always find a lot of difficulty in the fact that I think Kevin is clearly the parents' favorite.
You think the child... Okay, yes. Well, they did leave him twice.
We know Buzz and we know him, and there's apparently like another 4 children in the family.
I really do struggle to run down what the family is because there's an aunt.
There's 2 families of 7.
Okay, so he has 6 siblings. I thought he had just Buzz, and I thought he had just Macaulay.
No,
not
so I
Macaulay-
think they both have 5 kids.
Whoa.
Because remember, they have the tickets and they split them up and they go, you've got your 7, I've got my 7.
Okay.
So there's
what,
10 children here.
Ooh, okay, and what we got? Buzz. We got Macaulay, not Macaulay Culkin. Succession.
Roman from Succession.
Yes.
Crazy, he might be an Oscar winner this year.
Yeah, crazy, right? We've seen him.
He's the front runner.
I gotta tell you, I think he's better in this. In the second one.
Excellent.
He's given a lot more. I feel like when he was pissing in the first one, wet in the bed, I didn't believe it. When you see him sipping on the Pepsi, you can see intent in his eyes, and that's a good actor.
Evil.
Yeah.
He's got so much evil.
But they're having an absolute blast. Kevin's got a new toy. It records things. Would you want this? You don't want this?
The phone does it.
Listen, the phone does do it. However, I do want to buy, and I saw them on Amazon. They're like $20. You know those things you go click, note to self, and then you say your things?
It does this. It's on this.
No, I don't want a phone. I feel like I want the analog version. I'll press the button.
Well, with a little tape.
Yeah, a little tape.
What are you going to do with the tape?
Well, I assume at the end of the day, you would then go and listen to essentially a really shit podcast of yourself for 40 minutes and then take notes. It does seem like a very inexpensive... It seems like a lot of admin for really not just writing it down.
He's got this tape, so he's just recording anything and everything we see. He's obsessed with it. Then his parents come in and they go, just go in and see Frank showering.
Yeah.
Go get your tie and just have a peek and get out of there. Like, we know, just go in and do it. Frank is showering like no man has ever showered before.
How so? You don't shower full volume singing?
This is the thing. It is there are 14 people in this household.
Yeah.
There is apparently maybe one bathroom, it seems. Frank is hogging it for minutes. He is singing at full blast, with door open, with shower barely closed. That man has never given a fuck in his life.
Oh, and his cock is just out, and it's aggressive. And you're just like...
It's
listen.
outlined in the silhouette.
Yeah,
you go, Jesus, Frank.
Chris Columbia was like, listen, we've got some good shadow work for this movie. Let's use it. Let's use it well.
They spent 40 minutes determining that Frank would have heft.
There was a lot of show notes. They were umming and ahhing, and you know what the big board said? Heft.
Heft. Everybody, John Hughes was like, I always imagined Frank as having heft.
We thought it was chub in the first one, but it just didn't work.
Heft.
It's heft.
It's so clearly. It came to me when they said, are you going to make a second one? I said, yes, we're going to take it to New York, and Frank will now have some heft.
Why does John Hughes sound like Werner Herzog? like a distinguished director with I had a vision for the.
That's what John Hughes was like. He was like, it's the day off of Ferris Bueller. That's what he's doing.
You're just doing Maestro. You're just doing Bradley Cooper and Maestro.
Who abandoned Snoopy in the vestibule? Oh god! If you haven't seen Maestro, you've got to watch it. It's like an hour in, and he picks up a Snoopy doll, and he just nails it for about a minute.
I feel like that film got such scrutiny of just he wants an Oscar and Maestro. We were hoping for a Maestro sweep and we didn't get it. Sadly,
Yeah, we were all rooting for a Maestro sweep.
I put $1,000 on it, Carl, and guess what? I backed out the last minute and then put a lot on Oppenheimer.
I think Maestro got like marriage storied by Twitter. I don't think Maestro was anywhere near as bad as Twitter was like, look at him trying.
No, I think it was just more. I just love the idea that just he wanted it so bad. What was that interview? There was an interview
With Maestro's kids, and he was like, I loved him so much, and he's crying.
That's right. No, he had like the first of it, like the first thing was just like the nose, and everyone's like, that's a lot. And then they were like, no, we really wanted that. That's everyone decided that was the vibe. And then he did the thing with the kids, and then I think he did an interview with, didn't he do it with Cillian Murphy or somebody?
Oh, he did
and
it.
he was just like, some actors just fucking show up and don't do fucking shit all. I was Leonard Bernstein for 4 years, and everyone went, you trying? Bitch, we're going to...
He did a directors on directors with Spike Lee.
Yes.
And Spike Lee loved it. He was like, I've seen this movie 6 times.
Maestro.
Yeah.
Hells yeah for
He was
Spike
like,
Lee.
I've shown it to all of my students because I think he's got like tenure for filmmaking somewhere. But yeah, I just remember being like, Spike Lee loves Maestro.
Of course, he's a Leonard Bernstein man. You can tell.
Oh, I mean, how could you not? It was an actors on actors. Maybe it was with Emma Stone or something that he was doing it. And just him talking about like I conducted. I learned to conduct.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "You need to calm down. You started in Hangover films."
Hey, I did think that he was. What's his latest film? He's got something good coming out, or he doesn't have something good. No, I keep thinking he's in The Brutalist. He is not in The Brutalist.
He's not in The
I
Brutalist.
do
Adrian
apologize.
Brody is in The Brutalist,
Yes.
and that's actually Adrian Brody's nose. That's not Bradley Cooper with a nose. They go to a big show.
Yes.
All of the kids, they're in a lovely little choir.
This is stunning. It's Christmas, okay? Buzz does the funniest fucking thing.
This hits.
This kills.
This is a great gag.
This kills. So Kevin's in the middle of the choir. Buzz gets the candles, puts his ears on. He's all red. This guy fucking kills. The whole audience is fucking laughing.
This is the reason you come to these. My favorite one is when he uses the candles as drumsticks. That would get me. I wasn't too taken aback by his ears being burnt, but I loved it as drums.
Yeah, using his little head as a drum set is comedy gold. It works, and the parents are all right for laughing at him. I'm sorry, Kevin. He's the butt of the joke. However, it landed. It landed.
Did you ever have to do these Christmas things? Did you do a Christmas show at your school?
Possibly, yes. Yes, I think so. Did you? I can't remember it being like... I don't think anyone wanted to be there.
No.
It was almost just like... Because it was hot, and no one... And it was just dreadful little costumes. It was just like a little Santa hat and badly singing. No one wanted to be there. And the second it was done, you'd then go home for school holidays.
Yeah. I think kids aren't talented, and we should stop attempting
Stop
to...
allowing them to do things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if your kid's got natural talent, it'll find its way to the
the
service,
Hollywood
or
system
they'll repress it.
Well, the Hollywood system will grab them, and they would churn them out some good art, and then they'll be done by, 13, and then they're washed out.
Now Buzz gets in trouble for this. I think Kevin
Buzz does not get in trouble.
Well, no,
for this.
so
I think Buzz walks in like a southern Prosecco.
Well,
I do. I mean, here's the thing now, family. I entertained this little degenerate just sucked the life out of that choir. I was trying to serenade the voices. I was making a great judgment. Now, over here, Kevin sucked us dry and really ruined Christmas. And everyone's like, you know what? He's got moxie. And I like that. He's back on the case. He's also the detective. Carl, are you saying that Buzz didn't win this argument?
I think Buzz is playing everyone for a fiddle. Kevin then is the one that gets in trouble. And I think Kevin acted rationally. I think it was an easy hit. I don't think Buzz needed to fall. I think Buzz was weak.
I think it's a pratfall. Here's the thing.
He was like, let's take down everyone.
Well, let's get the emotion, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He knows he's lost, but if he can get the emotion he's already got the laughter. If he can get the sadness of the audience, he's in.
He near kills the piano player.
And that's fair enough.
She takes like a 2-story fall off the stage.
It's great stunt work. They really...
Oh, the whole movie is great stunt work
Yeah.
in it. Let's be honest. During this scene, Frank says, "Don't you ruin my holiday. Your dad has paid good money for it."
Yeah.
Right? So I'm under the assumption, right, that the dad has paid for the holiday.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Okay.
I think he has paid for the flights.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting.
Okay.
Okay. This is something that I was trying to, because he's got a very big house.
Yes.
Right.
It's the 90s. 2 of them are working. In this world, you don't have money issues.
Well, so
it's a different time, Carl.
But this is the thing: if he is paying for 10 children to fly from Chicago to Florida, that is $630 a child return.
Are you talking nowadays or back then?
Nowadays.
Okay, nowadays, sure. Back then, it was a nickel and a Charleston
Well,
chew.
but what I'm saying is because if we're taking into account the inflation of it all, right? So that's 10 children. We're at $6,300.
Yeah.
Then he cops 4 business class tickets.
Of course.
For the adults, they're $830 per person. That's now $3,320 just for that. And then here's the thing: he's got to add on the checked luggage for all the kids because we see them at the airport. They have all got checked luggage, so that's an additional $300 there. So now we're looking at $9,920 just for the flights to Florida.
Is that their return?
Sorry, that is return. But here's the thing: that's in American dollars. It would cost us $15,614.67.
What's that in yen?
$1 billion.
Okay, whoa, I'm back in. Jesus Christ. This is
Where's the money coming from? What does he do? More importantly, what does he do for work?
2 benefits. 1, 90s. They both had a job. They just had money. 2, they then get to Florida and are sharing a 1-bedroom.
No, so this is the thing. Frank has organized the accommodation.
That's because he's a cheapskate.
Yep. So this is where we've got the background narrative that I'm very interested about. So we have Kevin's dad has spent all the money on this.
Yeah.
And I had also assumed he would have handled all the accommodation. But he seems to have not handled the accommodation because as we rock up to it, Frank goes, it didn't look like this on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Which makes me think he's booked the same place for all of them.
Yeah.
off of his memory of the enjoyment of his honeymoon.
Yeah.
Now, the movie ends on the gag of the dad having to cop a $1,000 tab at the hotel.
Which, can I say, spoilers, that's a fair price for... If I
fair.
If I had eaten ice cream... Like, I've ordered room service at a hotel. It cost me $60 for a shit burger and some chips and a beer. And I was like, that was a mistake. Kevin getting away with all this for $900, a bargain.
Well,
was money different in the 90s?
No, but
I know it is, but like inflation, but like no way. How much money did everyone have?
Well, I just want to throw out, who's paying for the flights from Florida to New York?
Florida to New York. This is another issue with my thing. Don't take all the kids. Just you and just the mum and the dad should then go over.
So you think the dad has flown them out?
Oh, I 100% think that they'd throw them out.
Surely that's double the amount of money. And now he's got to do different...
No, but now
he's cancelled the flights home, so he's got to do different flights.
I'm not saying that that's not happened. I'm saying that definitely has happened. And I think a much more interesting story is the dynamic between the father, the mother, and then the uncle and aunt. Because that's a way better story of just how they've divvied up the money and how selfish they are. I think Kevin is the catalyst, but they should really have a chat about this. I would love to see them sitting down in a room and go, how do you think it's fair that I spent double on flights and you just booked us at a shit motel? That's a fantastic story. And a one that would warm your heart at Christmas.
I reckon that's a good My Dinner with Andre-esque, like, just this escalation.
My Dinner with Andre 2, it's like now it's 2 men and 2 women, and they get to sit at a table and discuss finances. That's a great film.
Well, so I'm just trying to work out here is because in the end, apart from the room service that they have to pay for, everything else is being comped. The room is being comped.
Well, the New York,
The penthouse is complimentary.
Yep.
Surely that is a penthouse that is like $10,000 a night.
Totally, it's too flawed. I'd never even seen that.
So they're getting that for a few nights, yeah?
Yeah.
So Kevin's making money for the dad.
Yes.
So while the dad's copping a $1,000 like tab
Room
for the
service
room,
free. Yeah, this is a free room.
He is upgrading everyone $30,000 worth of room, and then on top of that, like another $10,000 worth of toys.
Here's the thing, and this is what I think is actually happening. I think this is a whole scam. I think they've tricked, maybe the first time it happened, it was like, oh, cool, Kevin survived it. And now I think, okay, we've got this miracle kid. If the news comes around, they say, hey, Kevin McCallister did it again. We also get free presents, a nice hotel in New York, and let's face it, I'm sure like Air Delta's going to throw in like some free tickets home, you know, when the story hits.
Yeah.
The boy that's happened, did this make national news, or did they keep this under
It should
wraps?
make national news. A kid has caught 2 criminals again and signed his name. He's like, by Kevin McCallister. And I set off fireworks and there was a pigeon lady. Like, he's done it twice.
Yeah, I think it's a good ruse. I think everyone's in on it. And it's a much better, honestly, that's the better heist, how they got away with this whole thing.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the 9/11 of it all.
Okay, huge. Hit
So
me.
this can't happen anymore.
Oh, wait. Them running through the airport. We've
Yep.
been to this airport. We've
Yep.
been to Chicago.
Yeah, it is a nightmare. It is a giant
It's
airport.
a very big airport. There's so much security.
If you're on the last gate, you're not making that
No,
flight.
it's about a 90-kilometer run.
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
And it's dramatic.
This is the airport they shot that sequence at Fast and Furious 6 at, because
Of
that's
course.
how long
It's
the
that
air-
long.
Yeah,
It's that long. Okay, let's talk about it. You probably couldn't do this.
Well, I'm just there's no security check. I blew my mind that she takes him on and is like, "Do you see your dad?" And he's like, "That's his head." And she's like, "Cool, find a seat."
Back then it was like a bus. You have to remember that. It's literally just an air bus. And then somebody had to ruin it all, and now we got to take our shoes off. So it's just annoying. But was this, it must have been just, this could have happened, right? This must have not happened, but like it's believable back then. But now you'd be like, oh God, at no stage would this be allowed.
So I think we can now point blame at the dad on this one, right? This is not like the whole family's to blame or Kevin's to blame. The dad really should be like, where's Kevin?
Yes.
Kevin was with me.
Yes.
He was running behind me.
I don't want to like dock the points, but let's face it, this should just never happen again. If you're getting, and I will say this, and this is why I think the family are doing it to get free stuff, because when they're being questioned by the airport cops, they're just like, this has happened before, and they're cheeky about it. This is the dad's fault, totally the dad's fault. He should have kept his eyes on Kevin. Everyone should be. Honestly, they should walk into the airport all tied together with string.
They absolutely should.
Yeah.
How do the cheaper by the dozen kids travel? Like, do you reckon they always lose one? They're like, hey guys, just so you know, we are going on a big domestic flight. We expect to lose one of you.
Here's the
you
thing.
will either stay at this airport or you will wreak hijinks in whichever city you end up in.
Yeah,
but we'll find our way back together.
You'll end up in the Bronx and you'll do some stuff. Now, I gotta tell you,
Do whatever it takes to get home and make money. A lot of you are going to grow up today.
But here's the thing, back in the day, you would just lose some, and that's fine. I just think our modern society, we're so protected of children. Here's the thing, you have 12 kids, you're gonna lose 6 by the time
You
they're
always
20.
want to shed the weakest.
Of course,
you
the
know?
runt.
It's
the runt.
you want to shed the runt.
But here's the thing, Kevin's not a runt, he's a winner.
He is a winner.
He claws back, and that's why he's earned a spot.
He's a
back in the
runty
team.
wiver.
Yeah, that's what they call him.
That's what they
it's
call
a cruel
him.
name, but he works.
It's not our fault. That's what they coined. Why does the whole house rely on just the parents to wake up? Does nobody else set an alarm?
No, this is just... Well, what's alarm technology?
Frank goes, you guys have the worst wake-up calls. Frank, fucking do something,
Frank's
you
an
absolute asshole.
Frank's walked into this film, he's taken a 9-hour shower, he's gone, I'm paying for a cheap motel, and straight off the bat...
So obnoxious. He sang the entire night.
No wonder they've overslept. He had a 9-hour shower, he's singing at full volume. Of course they haven't got a wink of sleep.
Hot water left in winter.
What's alarm clocks were back in the 90s? Because now we have an iPhone. It works great. But do you have an alarm clock?
No. I think I used to. But in the end, you're telling me in this house of 14 people, we don't have a single early riser?
Well, here's the thing, Carl. If you spend about $9,000 on flights, there's no price for the clock. Where's the budget for the clock?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, it's a two-prong issue. You know,
Yeah.
you must have been at the store. He's like, do I go to the travel agent or do I go to the alarm clock store? And he chose right. But did he in this moment? No.
You know what is a shame that we've lost is being able to my alarm died in the night because there was a blackout and it reset. That doesn't happen anymore. You can't use your something external happened to the alarm.
I
That's not my
agree.
fault.
However, I reckon every 1 in 140 times the iPhone alarm does not work. Or for some reason the alarm's like, well, last night you had the volume down low. So we figured in the morning you would like it to be... Oh, you've not woken up? That's fine. We're stopping. That happens 1 out of 140 times.
I am in constant fear of always sleeping through my Apple alarm.
Yeah.
That's why you've always got to set 40, check them twice.
You got to snooze them all, and then your partner wakes up and goes, can you turn your alarms off? Like, yeah, no, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, well, if you hate them so much, why don't you reach over and turn them off?
And they normally do.
Yeah.
Also, another thing about this, and this is why I think that this family is doomed to fail. They give the tickets to the children, which is just some of the most insane things.
You never let the kids be in charge. I did like that they'd all had their little name written on them.
It was very adorable.
They'd spent some time last night organizing tickets.
Yes.
So Kevin lands in New York. It's a vibe. He meets a Santa on stilts.
Yeah.
And I loved this. Now, Oscar, you and me went to New York.
Yes.
Just after Christmas
Yeah.
time, either last year or the year before. I watched some of this with my partner. I said I was absolutely devastated. Now, having watched this, I would have loved to go to Duncan's Toy Chest.
Oh, yes. It's the magical toy store that can.
I would have absolutely loved to go to it. Then it was pointed out to me by my partner that they had already looked it up and that it was not real.
I like your partner. I'd already looked it up like, no, I've done my homework. It is not.
He had done it already. Yeah. And it was pretty shattering to find out on this viewing that this is not a real toy store.
No, it's upsetting, isn't it? I thought that they had merged this with the one... What's the one from Big that does exist? That does exist, right?
That one does exist?
Now
I don't know what does or doesn't exist.
I think that may have gone bankrupt during COVID. But
I thought that was like a Hemleys, because it was Hemleys the one we went to this year in London?
I think so. I don't know if that was a Hemleys though. It was definitely a real toy store, and there was before COVID. I think there was a section at the top where you could do the keyboard thing for Big, but it was like $50 US, and there's a massive line.
It must be real because I think that's the opening to that movie the night before.
The night before, really?
Yeah.
Wait, which one's the night before?
That's the one with Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Anthony Mackie. When
I have seen the start of it, and I think that's how I know.
Yeah.
I had to turn it off. It's not great.
And comes together.
It comes together, really? You're shaking your head as a positive yes? 5 out of 5? Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, I'll check it out.
It has its moments. It has its moments. They just want to do drugs.
Yeah, it has its moments, but it must be past the 40-minute mark, because I turned it off around then.
You got 40 minutes in?
I got about 13 minutes in.
Okay, so you don't know how far in you got.
No.
You saw the trailer.
I definitely turned it off. No, they wait. No, I tell you what I have seen. I've seen the Nathan Fielder clip where he's interviewing them and goes, "Why did you cut me from the film?" And it is fair enough. That's the funniest part of the film.
Yeah.
That's what was worth it all.
He was right to be cut. The limo driver wasn't going to add anything to the movie by that point.
Oh god, but it needs something to be added.
Look, I think Kevin's very, very clever to do this credit card scam.
Oh, right. He really fools Tim Curry. Let's get into Tim Curry as well.
So Tim Curry, I don't know, maybe deserves an Oscar for the movie. He is phenomenal in this.
Tim Curry has, I watched Clue early. I watched half of Clue. My partner walked in midway through and went, "Hey, I want to watch Clue." So I had to turn it off. But I'm midway through Clue and he's nailing it in Clue.
He's so good in Clue.
He's also fantastic. And Carl, this is my recent obsession. I've been watching Command and Conquer plays. Essentially, it's this old game. It's like an RTS game. Tim Curry, in one of the games, Red Alert 3, I believe, he plays this Russian oligarch who's like a general, and he's got an accent that is so silly, and he nails it every single time. Essentially, one of his famous lines is like, "Capitalism cannot get us in space," and then he flies off into space. Tim Curry nails it in this. Let's talk about him.
Okay, well, so we've had him before on the podcast. He was the devil in that Ridley Scott movie.
Oh, Legend.
He
was so good.
He was so good as the devil. He is phenomenal here. He does this Grinch smile. Like that match cut is so good.
I had not seen a match cut in a very long time for a film. I think there's a lot of films, modern day comedies, that don't play into the whole, hey, we're a film, we can use film techniques.
Yeah.
This made me smile so hard, and Tim Curry nails it. I think this is a very iconic match cut. It's so much fun.
So the other one that I love is there is a part where he gets slapped.
Yes.
And he like has his little teary eyes and he looks away and he quivers like the bottom half of his mouth like it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And then my partner and I took turns just trying to do this with our face and we couldn't do it. I don't know how he does it. The disconnect from the eyes to like the little quiver underneath, it is a fantastic moment.
Yeah.
He is a revelation here.
He is.
Now,
He really is.
let's talk about the Rob Schneider of it all.
I think Rob Schneider is, and maybe this is just because we know who Rob Schneider is, I don't think he's the worst here. I just, you appear on the screen and go, "Oh, that's Rob Schneider. Oh, chill." Oh my goodness, this shouldn't be here. I think he's fine. I think he is fine. Do you have like a egregious thing? I think they're fun and bumbling.
I think he's fine in this for sure.
Yeah. It is a shame. I think we will get into, I guess my only negative with the film, I think you have it as well, is that it's a very carbon copy of Home Alone, and that's fine. But you also introduce, the only stuff you introduce is quite good. These hoteliers being vindictive and evil should be the villains. Should be like, I don't know how, but make this hotel the
the hotel should be all of the hijinks.
Yes.
You know, like that's where I think that it would really shine. I love Joe Pesci and I love the other guy.
Yeah.
And I think they are really fun. But I think the movie has to go so far out of its way to involve them and craft a house at the end.
Yeah.
That it gets itself muddled when I think it was the new setting was good and all the new characters were good. I feel like the movie loses its momentum when it goes and we're bringing back the old characters.
Listen, and I agree. I will stand by that. I love seeing these two men get the shit kicked out of them. So the film is saved, but it is a shame that you're sort of smashing the Tim Curry. Like it's just left to the wayside, and that's the only issue, I think.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Duncan?
Which one's Duncan?
Duncan's toy chest.
Oh,
The owner,
I
Duncan.
do not like this man at all.
You don't like him at all?
I don't mind. I don't know what was going on, but apparently he's a very famous comedian from like the 40s. I think
Really?
he did vaudeville.
I do an incredible impression of him.
Go hit me.
Turtle doves.
I literally have the same fucking thing. He yaps on about turtle doves, and it kind of pays off at the end.
It's a beautiful moment.
No, like it pays off only because he drags on about fucking turtle doves. You're like, oh, this, and it comes back. You're like, well, yeah, I noticed it because it's like a Chekhov's gun, but the first Chekhov's gun is just him droning on about the fucking gun. So you're like, yeah, I know the gun's gonna come back. It's fine, chill, cool.
But he says it in the most beautiful way.
Turtle doves.
Turtle, the turtle dove.
And I'm giving all the money to charity.
And we
To
take the money and we march it down. And we
Sixth,
give it to the
we
kids.
give it to 6th Avenue. We put it up to those, and those children, they cheer and they love it. I give the kids toys.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is Kevin just going down to the hospital and waving at a kid who's just at the window like, get me out of here. I'm shocked he wasn't ripped out from the window and like a bloody hand put up.
Yeah, he's like snacking his little hook against the hand, like, please let me out, Kevin. They've given me leprosy as a gag. It's New York in the 90s. It's vile around here.
Now, do we think the universe is getting involved in this tale and forcing Kevin's life to always converge with these two criminals?
Yes, this is karmic justice for the world because, again, I think the universe in the Home Alone universes always needs two buffoons to get their hands beaten, and they will break them out of jail. They'll give, because you always have to give the people that are going to get smacked in the face a high, because then they fall so much higher. The fact that they've broken out of jail, they are on top of the world. They see their arch nemesis. Let's go kill that kid, and immediately you're like, damn, they're going to get the comeuppance, and rightfully so. We get into, I mean, we'll spoil it, but the first thing they get done to them is they get a pretty smacked in the face by a pretty woman, and that's just great stuff. That's New York.
That's just New York.
That's just New York.
I like when they get beaded.
Yeah.
I like when they slip on all the beads.
Oh, it's good. It's pearl necklace stuff.
Yeah. I like that's like a little bit of Kevin being like, it's like on the street vigilanteism version of my own Home Alone.
Yes.
It's like out and about.
Well, it's just fun because the film's like, we know what you want to see. You want to see the shit kicked out of these fucking guys. Here's a little taster in the middle of the film. Not just yet. We've got a weird bird lady thing we need to do, but soon we'll have 40 minutes of Joe Pesci getting his comeuppance. Oh, his comeuppance is good.
I was finding it grating how much the Joe Pesci like hates Marv.
What?
I was like,
oh, you don't love a bumbling fool, and you don't like a short man and a tall man, and the short man's angry, and the tall man's racist.
It's us.
Yeah, it's a big, it's our routine.
You're the short and
I'm
the
the
tall.
Joe Pesci. I go, and you're always falling down holes, aren't you?
Yep. Getting bricks in the head. Going, is it Joe? What's his name?
That is Joe Pesci and Marv. I've written just Marv for all this. I know, he's in Whip It. He's the guy. He's the dad in Whip It.
Okay. Let's talk about the movie, because I think the movie's very famous.
What, the
Angels of
Demons or Angels of Gangster?
Yeah,
the fake movie.
Yeah, the fake movie,
which I did find out was a fake movie.
Yeah.
About just a couple of years ago, which is sad.
Yeah,
it's
same.
sad.
I think that
I thought it was the Maltese Falcon for ages. Turns out, I watched the Maltese Falcon, and there's nothing
like this in it.
Yeah,
I love that she's smooching Cliff.
You want to see this whole film. I hope there's like a DVD extra that is just like all the stuff they filmed for this.
I mean, it's just fun, isn't
is.
it? So, do we think Kevin had pre-set up a clown for when they come into the room?
When does the clown come in?
So he's got the inflatable clown to pretend it's Frank in the shower if
Yes.
anyone comes looking for him. Do we think he wrangled that up on the spot, or do you reckon he had that ready to go in case anyone came in?
I think, and hear me out, anytime Kevin wants something to work, whether it be an audio gag or a trap, it does work. All he needs to do is set it up. So he definitely went out and bought that clown because, like, in the recording, there's a clown. If I need to, it will work. Like, what a great superpower that anything he thinks of, and it can be as ludicrous as you want, it will work. That is what you want as a power.
I'm shocked they have not done another.
What, another with him?
Yeah.
Or like, because they've done 5.
Yeah, I know, but they're bad.
No, I think
they've never invested as much money again into this franchise. It's very odd for them to be
that
like.
third one I remember being quite good. Not good, but I remember the traps.
Oh, they
being
spent money-ish on that one.
Yes.
But it was weird that they were like, it's not Christmas and it's not Kevin's family.
Yeah. What's the fourth one? I can't remember what the fourth one is.
Fourth one's super cheap. That's a straight to DVD movie.
Oh, damn.
That one's like there's 11 people in the movie and we've got half of a house in LA.
It's not Christmas, it's Easter. Much cheaper to film Easter. So much cheaper.
Okay, so he ends up everybody finds out about him and his credit card scam.
Yes.
So what he does is he runs away and he runs into the park and this is where things get a bit spooky and scary.
Oh, yeah.
And I have never understood why when he hops in this cab and is like, God, it's terrifying out there. The guy goes, ain't much better in here, kid. And I'm like, why do you know that you're frightening? Why are you telling the kid to hop? Did you not think he would pay the fare? And you were like, the best way to get him out of this cab is to scare him now.
Everyone knows children need to be given a good scare because they tip better. Every cabbie knows that, Carl. Before this, you get the best scene of just like a homeless man going like, you scared? You should be. And then some prostitutes like, you want a good time, you stupid little slut? And he's like, the cab driver must have seen this whole interaction and be like, listen, I want to get in on that fun.
Yeah, he's like, what are we all being mean to this kid in the middle of New York? Yeah, I'll do it.
Here's the thing. If you're a New Yorker, you got to scare a couple of kids. That's your quota for Christmas. You got to freak them out.
Yeah.
Make sure they go back to their home city.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime
We're
kid
full. Get out of here. Go back to Boston or another city. I don't know.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York. The vilest place in the city.
So this is where we start getting a little bit more of Pigeon Lady. Pigeon Lady is our snowplower man from the first one.
Yeah.
Now, we get her story, which is like, this is why I'm homeless.
You gotta tell me the story. I really absolutely spaced out, which is such a bad thing to admit, but what was her story?
Well, so the story is, it's her being like, I fell in love, and then he started not to love me anymore, and then I just never loved anyone again. And that's it. And you're like, but why are you homeless? It's like, did he take all your money in a divorce battle? Like, what's going on here?
She's also like 30 as well. You know, that's...
What? No. Because then Kevin's like, you look like shit. You've got bird shit all over you. And she's like, yeah, I guess I am scaring people away. And I'm like, that's not the problem here. You've clearly got a mental illness or something as well. You're living on top of an orchestra. And your best friend is birds. And you've now befriended a child.
Get a grip, old because I do like he walks into this, because this is the only thing that he's learned from the first one. It was just like, listen, I've learned that scary people normally are fine and nice, so I'm gonna go up to her, and you're right, he starts negging her, just like the American Psycho. He's like, why do you get a job? Why you're homeless, you're nothing, I make a lot more money than you, I'm Kevin McCallister. See that shit with the wet bandits? That was me. You're a bird lady. You're nothing. You're nothing.
I really wish that they'd committed to her like being like at the end of such a sad monologue. She was like, man, I just don't know why people love me. Maybe it's because I worship pigeons. Cool. And just is really crazy. I wish that there was like a thing where you go, that's why you're mental.
Yeah, what if Kevin learned the opposite of what you learned the first one? Like, some people, especially in New York, if they're scary looking, probably scary.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, suburban Chicago, they're going to be a little bit more nicer than random people in one of the biggest cities in the world.
Central Park, I gotta tell you, one line Joe Pesci says, this is chilling. He's just like, I saw that kid go into Central Park. Listen, men don't come out of there alive. That boy's fucked. He ain't making it past goddamn Fifth Avenue. He's gonna be cut to fucking smithereens.
Is it that horrifying to go into their big park?
Yes.
At night?
I think... Well, yes, because remember, I don't know if you've seen NCIS or CSI.
Yeah.
I think 19 murders happened there a night. You also have to remember, in the 90s, they still had the representation that New York was a very scary place. Because about 20 years before, have you seen footage of what New York looked in the 90s?
No.
It's like a bomb went off, and it's horrid. People are walking around with guns and baseball bats. It's fucking scary. Then Wall Street comes in, they're like, we've got some money, and there's some bit shittier parts. And then it was pretty much like, let's make it good in the 90s. But things were pretty dicey there for a hot minute. Girl. New York was a scary place, and now it's gentrified.
I looked up how many murders have been in Central Park this year, and thank God there were no murders in Central Park in 2023.
How many was there in 1970?
There's not a lot of information about it, but they hypothesized 60.
Damn.
Across the 70s, so that's okay.
That's all right.
That's fine. I'd take those odds.
Yeah, I'd take those odds.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd walk around there late at night, vulnerable.
Shall we talk about the Home Alone?
The Home Alone of it all?
The Home Alone?
Yes. Well, let's just talk about, because you are right, it goes through hoops and jumps around to really get you like, okay. Because pretty much just before the Home Alone, you go, well, they're robbing a toy store, so we're doing at the toy store?
Yeah.
Like, no, Kevin's got a home. It's a bit further away from the toy store. You go, oh, okay. How's he going to do this? We're going to take a photo of them stealing. I'm going to then chase them around, so then they come back to my home with my traps. That's it. It's a bit convoluted, but it's fine, because now we have a home and two buffoons that need a photo of them doing the crime.
And because it's getting renovated, it means he can ruin this place as much as he wants.
Oh, yeah.
And there are loose, sharp things everywhere. These two get beaten the fuck up in this one.
This is fucking vile. And I gotta tell you, I think the reason why a lot of the other Home Alones don't work is because they haven't done the legwork to make, one, the villains just foolish and deserving of pain, and also so high and mighty. I feel like in the other ones, they're a bit like, we've got to get that toy, the toy car, the microchip, whereas this one, they're like, we'll never fail. We've got the photo, and once we get it, we'll be rich. They're so high and mighty. And when that first brick comes flying and hits Marv, my God, you know you're in for a good 40 minutes.
I love the brick gag. I think the bricks is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Him getting a hit like 3 or 4 times, and the movie is pretty happy to be like, we're not going to show blood, but we're going to do bloody outlines.
We're going to do a
things.
hemorrhage, yeah.
Like,
we're going to do cartoon violence, but it's going to be pretty brutal. It's crazy. He's totally like concussed for the rest of the film.
Well, he's in real life dead.
Yo, yeah.
Like he's dead from if not the first brick hit, the second one. And 4, that's awful.
The fourth brick is just mutilating the face. It's brutal and mean. However, comedically, it is the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen.
And how heavy is that? Because one of them also crumbles a car. Like, they just shatter a car.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
thrown up in
Just
the
before
air.
the Toy Story gets
Yeah.
seesawed. And, oh, God, I love violence. How good's violence?
Violence is so
At
good.
Christmas time, I hate that violent Christmas movie with David Harbour. Have you seen that?
Oh, Violent Night.
Yeah, I was so close. But violence should only be allowed to Joe Pesci at Christmas time.
Damn, yeah, you're so right. That's so right. You're very right.
Thank you.
Thank you. What are your favorite sort of hits and toughs and hits in
That's
the scene?
huge. We'll get into Marv getting stapled in the taint, the cock, and then the nose. That's pretty brutal. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Crazy, he got brick hits and then that.
Yeah. I do like for the first part of the Home Alone, Joe Pesci's pretty unscathed.
He's nailing it.
And he's kind of nailing it. And Marv's getting absolute copped. It's a real fun, just like, oh, things, maybe this one will make it good. This is because they probably go the hardest at the start, I think.
Yeah.
He falls into the basement as well. God, he gets like stapled to the taint, falls down like 5 meters, and then is just absolutely fucked in this basement for a good 10 minutes. Gets electrocuted. I think it's ridiculous that we have stopped using skeletons of people when they get electrocuted. I don't know when we stop doing that in film, but it should come back.
Yeah.
I want cartoon violence. I want cartoon antics. Where's the cartoon fun of it all, Carl? Where is it?
I know. We've lost it, haven't we?
We have.
It's been taken away from us.
Yeah, like our Christmas joy. It's big Grinch, huh? Joe Pesci does get his comeuppance pretty quickly. He gets flamed and then he gets burnt in the face by a toilet handstand. It's pretty.
does.
Were you impressed by him doing a
I
handstand?
loved him doing the handstand. Just because I knew that's Joe Pesci and he would have insisted on doing it.
Of course. He's like,
Famously so.
I've worked with Scorsese. I'm a fucking actor, okay? I'll fucking pirouette into that toilet. I'm a fucking pro.
Everyone knows Scorsese used to come out consistently and go, okay, everybody, handstands, handstands. Come on, I need attention from everyone. Everyone do handstands.
I think that's the reason. And it's such a shame because Lily Gladstone did the amazing handstands in Kills of the Flower Moon. I do think she was robbed, you know. I think Emma Stone, she was doing, you know, sort of cartwheels. And I just think it's showy-offy, and that's why she won. But, you know, you should have seen Lily's handstands.
It's getting to the point that it's like, why even bother to give out the award for best handstand on set if you're not going to actually give it to the people that are deserving?
100%.
Cillian Murphy's handstand is beautiful. That is it's as stiff as a board. The core energy is right there.
Yeah. Listen, you had Paul Giamatti last year, and listen, it's a bit like he was in the holdovers stuff, so he was a bit frail, and he was still doing a bit of character work.
Yeah.
And listen, when it comes to the handstand, you can't go for gags, you can't go for character, you got to just go for technique. And that's why Cillian pulled it off pretty well. Yeah. It is funny that in 90 years of the Oscars, it's always been the handstand winner that's won the best actor or
It's
actress.
true. If you get the best handstand, you're likely getting picture.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why a lot of people... And it's funny because the handstand's normally awarded 6 months earlier, so I don't know why people even really tune into the Oscars, because normally it's pretty cut and dry, but I mean, I don't know. I love it. You know, it's good.
That's why there's nothing interesting about The Rock doing a handstand.
Yeah.
We know you can do a handstand.
Yeah. But he kind of like does like a little like, oh, I'm bench pressing as well. And that...
Oh, he's like, oh, I'm going to do it with one hand.
Yeah. And that's not what it's not what movies about, you know?
That's not why I love film.
Yeah.
Okay, I love film because of the handstands when people are struggling.
Yeah. I want to see people,
It's a good arc if people struggle with a handstand.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to do an arc. That's very
Like
important.
a Noah's?
No, I don't want to do an arc as in like a
Oh,
gymnastic
yeah.
arc.
I hate a bend.
Yes.
Hate a body bend.
Yes, it's very look at me, you know. And if you're trying to go for it, you're not going to get it. I'm so sorry.
Do we think this bit was good?
How about we just give it a little bit of like an exit strategy? So we go, Carl. Also, Marv gets concreted to the face, so that's pretty wacky. And then Pesci falls on a ladder. I do love when they're together because when they
I was going to just put both his elbows on the table. Really came at me with such energy. He hasn't been giving me the whole episode of being like, I love it when they're together.
I do, though. Finally, when they're together after being like fooled so many times and they come up and go, listen, this little dickhead's doing the paint gag. We've seen this once before. We'll see it twice before. Let's go get them. When they get painted to the face for a third time and Benny has I guess a fire hydrant down the stairs. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is great shit.
Yeah.
They find their way out of the building,
Yeah.
and now a chase ensues.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back in the park.
Yeah.
I think they do a good job utilizing a lot of New York.
Do they? Because all they've used
As soon as I said it, I didn't believe it. I'm gonna revoke it.
They've used the corner.
They do.
They've used the corner of Central Park. They used that one bridge at Central Park, and then they've used essentially a studio lot to film the house. They have not shot the shit out of New York.
You try and get $28 million to stretch filming in New York.
Oh, listen, I'll give it to them. They've done very well. It's just New York isn't a character, you know. It's not like a Woody Allen film, you know.
I think it's alive. Here. I think it's deeply alive in this movie.
You tell me what's representing, huh? Because so far all I've seen is they're like
Christmas.
Oh, true shit.
Did they shot this at Christmas, right? There's no way for them to have not shot this at Christmas. Or do we think that they have like shot this to look like summer?
Oh, like they've done like fake snow and stuff?
Well, because I think at the end when he is at the big tree, I was like, they must have shot this at Christmas and then waited a full year to release it.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I'm not going to dock the points. You know, I don't. It's fine, but just no fucking way is it going to be just Kevin and his mum at that tree at Christmas time. That'll be packed as hell, so busy.
Early in the morning. It's so early.
I gotta tell you,
they've closed.
It's the city that never sleeps, Carl.
Sorry.
If you think
we proved this wrong.
what do you mean?
Well, we slept there.
Yeah. Because we're city.
That's a lie.
Well, we're country bumpkins. You know, we rock in. We're like, I'm tired. We're gonna get a slice. I'll be honest, you couldn't get a slice at 2 a.m. What's the point? You know?
Yeah, I know, right?
know?
Oh god, the slices of pizza were so good.
They were really
They
good.
were so good. When you got a pizza in this movie, I went, damn.
They nailed the pizza, and God, the coffee was just dreadful. Just
horrid.
Yeah, expensive and bad.
There's no way around it.
Yeah,
just
so sweet.
terrible.
Oh God.
Thank God the bird lady comes back and puts everybody into a horror film.
This was way more. They pretty much
This was
becomes
hectic.
Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and they're just like, but what are the birds actually killed? There's like 1,000 pigeons, and she's like, attack my pretty, and sonars them. And the boys, they've just gone through like literal hell, and this is by far the cruelest thing that's
They
happened.
near a peck to death.
Yeah.
And she cackles over them.
Kevin, be gone. What's her crime? Because I think if the cops show up and they go, hey, these two men have been picked to death, and would she be like charged with a crime? Because you'd be like, well, you definitely controlled the birds, but I mean, is this murder? Or is this accomplice? Or are you just a bystander?
Well, there's no prints. So they probably don't even know she's there.
There's little crow's feet though, isn't there?
Well, they would have been like, a bird lady emerged, and they'd be like, yeah, all right. Covered you in seeds, she did. Huh? Yeah, okay, hop on the car.
I would love if there's like a CIS guy just like, these burgers got crow's feet, and there's no and there ain't no cream for that. Bam! God, 60 murders, you say, huh?
Looking down at the two of them, you two are a pair. Birds of a feather, you both should stick
You
together.
stupid bitch. You totally be like, looks like there's been a murder. Murder of crows.
Oh,
Way
that
better.
is good.
Yeah,
that
much
is
better.
that is very good.
Here's
I
the
can
thing.
see. Is it T-Pain? Who does it on
Ice Cube.
Ice T.
Oh, it is Ice-T, yes.
Yeah.
I always get confused with Ice Cube. But it's
Ice Cubes, are we there yet?
Oh, yes, true. And I want to say Daddy Daycare 2?
No, I
Or
think that might
Road?
be Cuba Gooding Jr.
I don't know. I
Eddie
feel like
Murphy's the first daycare.
yes. I feel like he's. Oh, what's the
Did he do Daddy Day Camp?
Daddy Day Camp? That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think that's him either. Though.
Are you sure though? I swear. to
I
God,
mean, I don't believe
He's
believe it or not, I don't know, and I don't care.
It's fine. We've got time. I'll Google.
Oh my god, this podcast is ruining my life bit by bit. All right, well, look, you can email us at www.tpodcast@gmail.com if you've got any questions for me while I've had the time here. Basically, what we're doing is I'm just like looking at roses. I'm looking at a little stapler. Believe it or not, I've actually been playing with staples the entire episode. I'm very fidgety when I'm around a mic. This is almost like a little making of interlude that we've put into the middle of the show. If you want more of this, you can email us at www.tpodcast@gmail.com. If I have said too many W's, please correct yourself and myself. And you can send in your corrections and your omissions to www.tpodcast@gmail.com. Saying it 3 times leads to more emails. Oscar, back to you.
Thank you, Carl. It was Are We Done Yet? I was thinking of.
Oh, the sequel to Are We There Yet?
Yes.
Right. Fuck you. What a waste of time. You absolute dickhead.
Carl, it's Christmas. Come on. It's Christmas.
New York is alive.
Okay,
Yeah.
Carl, let's wrap this up. So luckily Kevin did some vandalism, but luckily the toy store, he threw a rock at a window. He's
Yeah.
like, "So I'm sorry. I had to catch those burglars. Mind if you give me some toys from staying at this hotel?"
And so he gets them. Everyone has a happy little time, but he leaves his toys to go and give the turtle dove to the pigeon lady.
Yeah.
Now, do we think they still chat?
I gotta tell you, I immediately turned this off. When I was like, we're finishing on the bird lady, I'm done. I am finished, and I think he's re-gifting a really nice gift from an old man who was, I guess,
Well,
kind
he's
of
meant to give it to a good friend. That's the thing.
No, I think he's meant to
And
keep
now
these.
she-
I think the toy store owner is going to be like, "You're a good friend to me, Kevin. I'm giving you these turtle doves. Not, hey, Kevin, here's 2 turtle doves. Go give it to another person."
Yeah, you're meant to do one to somebody else and one for yourself. He sets that up. He
I don't
sets
think
that
he
up.
did. I
Duncan
don't
would
think-
never. Turtle doves.
Here's the thing. He droned on about his fucking turtle doves. I just couldn't be bothered to listen.
Turtle
When it was that and it's the lady, I was like, "Where's Tim Curry in the whole thing?
I know. Why isn't he our main
Why
villain?
isn't he groveling at the back? I would have much preferred
I know.
that.
He should have gotten so much more to do in the back half of the movie. It is a shame that they do not utilize
We skip
him.
over it, but I mean, he gets credit card scammed, and then Kevin kind of does the whole movie thing with those guys, and that's so much fun.
It is, it's
Those
great.
3 bumbling fools. The parents come to the hotel and go,
Yeah.
"You let my son check in with a credit card?" And I gotta tell you, the parents are gaslighting these hotel people. They left their son on a plane. There's no goddamn
Like
way.
it's their
We're both guilty in this. No. You fucked up and left your son. He was a good swindler. The fact he's captured 2 men shows that he's got smarts.
I would have believed his story. Like genuinely, they
totally-
were like, sorry, we fell for it. I'm like, yeah, it's a good story.
What? So he goes, "Hey, my dad called up ahead and said, hey, we got a place. Here's the
Yeah.
credit card."
He's
Of
in the
course.
middle of a meeting. He said, look, take the card, go check in if you're so bored during the meeting. And then they're like, cool, we've checked you in, just tell him to come downstairs. And then he never comes downstairs because somebody saw him naked, and he's like, would you really come downstairs and chat to you for an apology? And he's like, I guess not.
Yeah, I think he nailed it. I'm
Yeah.
totally on the hotel side.
Yeah, same. Oscar, who would watch Home Alone 2 Lost in New York?
Goodness me. Okay, so you got the horrid 33% Metacritic. And you know what? If you're being a cynical little bastard, you go, "Hey, this is just a carbon copy of Home Alone. All you've done is done it, beat for beat, but a bit worse. This is the worst thing a sequel can be. How dare you?" Carl, but it's Christmas. And there's one thing at Christmas I love, it's comfort. And you know what? They nailed it. Because a Christmas movie can be just the same thing over and over again. Hallmark's been pulling that shit for years and years. Who would watch it? You gotta watch Home Alone. If you liked Home Alone, you're gonna love this. If you love seeing Joe Pesci getting shit kicked out of him, you're gonna love this. If you love seeing Tim Curry at Christmas, you're gonna love this. Oh, Carl, who would watch this?
I agree. I think it's also for just fans of Christmas. I think this is just Christmas as a film,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
This is just, I reckon there's about, realistically, probably 20 Christmas films that are in heavy rotation for everybody. I think you got Elf in there. You've got Home Alone 1 and probably 2. What else we got? I I feel like you got to throw in a Klaus somewhere. You got to do like a
Die Hard is obviously
Die
watched
Hard.
a lot.
You
It's
got-
a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. There's just there's a couple and this is just one of them.
Yeah.
And there's just no. I know it's a bad film, but it's Christmas, and that's fine.
And there's it is very well shot. Like
Oh, don't get me wrong,
It's
it's
a well-made, very well-made Christmas
Yeah.
movie, in my opinion. It's definitely got that 90s magic to it.
Yeah.
Which it can get away with that. You're like, wow, this kid's really just running around. And you're like, I believe it. It's the 90s and there's a little bit of magic in the air.
Yeah. Why, let him go, huh? Why not? Carl, who would also watch Home Alone 2?
Fans of gum. Gum gets a lot of time in the movie. You won't believe it. Your characters are going to be chewing it, handing it out, spitting it back. There's a lot of gum.
Rob Schneider handles a lot of used gum, and that's a good character motivation.
That's a great character motivation. Oscar, who else would watch Home Alone 2?
I gotta tell you, if you like saying lightning never strikes twice, do not watch this movie because it happens a lot. Same things happen beat for beat, and I gotta tell you, if you're one of those people, don't check this one out. Carl, who would watch Home Alone 2?
If you like being lied to, there's nothing more than a gut puncher finding out Duncan's toy chest doesn't fucking exist. So there you go. If you wanna just be taken advantage of by the film industry, it's this film. Oscar, who would watch Home Alone 2?
I gotta tell you, if you're like a poor parent or like the brick lobby, guys, bricks are also toys at Christmas, you know? And they're they're not that hard. Like, you can throw them around. It's kind of like a Nerf gun, but cheap. You know, throw a brick at each other. Carl, who would watch this?
If you just want to learn about love, I got to tell you, I think the parents in this movie, they're a perfect couple. There's a part where they both knock on wood because they're laughing so much at a police station. This couple's together
They're
forever.
gonna last. I mean,
They're
don't
gonna
get me
last.
wrong. Like, 3 of the kids are definitely gonna die by the age of like 12. But my God, this marriage will last.
You know why the marriage lasts? They put
Money.
themselves first.
Oh yeah, and
Kids are second.
Oh well, this has always been they put themselves always in business class and put the shit kids in. I love that.
They
They're
don't
like,
see them. They're like, put the curtain between us.
and they're like, and someone else could deal with the economy. It's an L on them for having poorness. You know, that's the horrible disease. God, what an L.
Oscar, and who would watch Home Alone 2?
I gotta tell you guys, if you own a bird, this film is very positive towards you. It pretty much promises that if you get enough, you'll get powers. Gal, and that was Christmas. Do you have a palate cleanser?
Yeah, I watched School of Rock again the other night, and I was unaware that I've seen it so many times. One of the great things about Letterboxd is it tracking you. And I was like, wow, I guess I've seen this 4 times in the last 18 months.
It's pretty nice, huh?
I love School of Rock, and one of the things I noticed about School of Rock this time was how long the takes are. It is covered in so many long takes. It is such a well-directed movie. It's just great fun, and it's another one of those ones where I'm just shocked they have not tried to milk that for a sequel. Like, Mike White is bigger than ever because of the White Lotus.
Jack Black's star power's never really waned.
No, well, he's just been in more blockbusters. Like, he's just, since Jumanji, he just seems to be like, yeah, we'll just put you in blockbusters now.
Yeah. People are just scared to call him a leading man, but he is.
Yeah, he clearly is. The head of that Minecraft movie that everyone hated and now the new trailer's out seems to be happy about.
Yeah.
So,
I think if you're angry at the mic, listen, guys, I played Minecraft, but I'm 27. They're not making it for me. They're making it for children, and that's fine.
It's for you.
Oh, I hope
Your
so.
partner was annoyed that it wasn't for her.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's for children. Mainly children play this game now, and losers in their 20s. It's not for you. But if there's a Lego movie on its hand, it's gonna I'll eat that up.
And I'd also go so far as to say that I think Jack Black in that movie is probably the best he's ever been. Just in terms of he makes that role seem effortless, and it looks like it is channeling so much effort and energy the entire time. Like, he's having to do so much jumping around and putting so much empathy into his performance. It really is excellent. And I do love the concept of an arc of somebody's character being like, they're lost in the world and they find themselves through teaching the things they love to people.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, a pro-teacher movie is really lovely.
Oh, beautiful, stunning.
Oscar, what was your palate cleanser?
I also did a big rewatch, American Psycho, because I saw that Austin Butler was cast as American Psycho, and I was
Osty Butts.
Osty Butts. That's a dreadful name. That is awful. Oh my God. Ostentatious Butts? Oh my God. What a cruelness. Oh, I've lost what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, that's just it's taking it out of my mouth. I'm also reading the book at the same time. I'm keen for this new one. However, I was just watching the first one, and it's just so funny. Every little move Christian Bale does, every little performance is so funny. There's bits where he's in the dry cleaners and he does this thing with his hands. He smacks it. Every prop he's holding is so funny. It's just, he is having a ball, and I really hope they bring that into the film, or essentially discard that and go for maybe more what the book's going for, and less of an outright comedy and more of a darker sense of comedy around just the whole situation. Either way, I'm intrigued. I don't know if he should be blonde. That's my main thing. If Austin Butler dyes his hair black, we're back in. But I don't think he'd be blonde. I
was really hoping it might be like Jack O'Connor. Who was it Jack O'Connor that was in Challenges?
Josh
O'Connor, that's it.
Yes.
Sort of hoping it might be him just because it's Luca Guadagnino again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think he will do a very sexy adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
And but granted, I do not like his Suspiria remake. He's so hit and miss, but when he hits, God, he hits.
Oh, I'm keen. I need to see that as well. Have I seen Suspiria? Is that the 70s one? I think I have seen that. That is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love blood in the 70s. It's that like crazy like red color that's just not so much fun.
There's like 3 incredible scenes in his remake, and then the rest of it is like, why is this 2.5 hours long?
Oh no, Luca.
But it's so snowy.
Are you keen for queer? I'm keen for queer.
I think I was keen for queer, and then I think the reviews have made it wane.
Heat it off a bit.
I think it is apparently very like it is based on a very odd book, and I think it gets dreamy. I guess like the back half of it is very dreamy, but it's just very much like and I saw one person's review was like, it's a hard thing to follow because Daniel Craig's character is just so pathetic in it. Like he just is after love the entire time. So actually, honestly, I'll probably relate and love it. I mean, I'm keen to see it. I'm not going to not see queer. Like,
what am I, gay? Come on.
Yeah, of course I'm going to see queer. Have you seen that poster with like the scorpion, the hand, and the writing? It just looks hot.
It does look hot. God, he knows how to make even just patheticness hot.
Yeah.
God, I hope American Psycho is just... good for him, huh?
Yeah, good for him. Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Carl, next week we are jumping into the Polar Express for the 3rd time, I think, on this podcast. I cannot wait. Straight up, I can wait. Matter of fact, I would like to stop doing this function. It's now getting to the point in the years where now we've seen it too many times and now it's starting to grade me. Before, it was a bit of a novelty, like, haha, stuck in time. This is now getting ridiculous. Carl, thank you for listening.
Thank you.